Hello class, welcome to English 104. My name is Hasmeek. It's so nice to meet you. I wish we were meeting in person because it's a little awkward sitting here and talking to myself on a webcam. But we will make do with what we have. This is the age of technology after all. So I'm just going to pretend like I have a classroom full of students watching me, and I entered the classroom and it's the first day of class and there's an awkward silence and I have to, I don't know, um, break the silence with some kind of icebreaker. So I do want to give a brief intro of myself and then of the class and our syllabus, because that's very important for you guys to know what you're getting into when you're signing up for a class like this. So my name is Hasmeek. Feel free to call me by my first name. A lot of my students call me Miss B if that's more comfortable for you. You can also call me Jasmine, which is the translation of my name. I have been teaching here since 2006. I was a student before, and now I'm part of the faculty. I love GCC. I love the community. I've always done face-to-face classes, and now, ever since probably 2018, I've been doing online classes. I do want to let you guys know that this is an asynchronous class. So I have that written at the very top here. What does that mean? Asynchronous means that there is no set time that you all have to be online. That just means that the instructor posts, the work, usually in the beginning of the week, and then the student is responsible to come online at any time throughout the day and complete the work. So I will make sure that I clarify in my announcements when the due dates are for each assignment, so that way you guys are not confused and that you are able to, create a schedule for yourself. Come online at a time that works best for you. And I like asynchronous simply because, everyone's life is different. I've always been a morning person, but ever since I had a baby, I can't get things done in the mornings anymore. So now I'm working at night. It's kind of like you have to adapt to whatever is changing in your life. And I'm sure a lot of people, they work like past midnight. And some people work like early in the morning. So it's kind of nice to be able to log into our class and be able to complete the assignments whenever it is convenient for you, as long as you do so before the deadline. So that's what asynchronous means. The reason why I put Monday through Friday is because I do have my schedule planned out a little bit each day so that you can avoid working on the weekend. Now, a class like this, which is the winter session, is only 5 weeks. It's basically a condensed class. You come, you have an entire semester's worth of work crammed into this little class. It's pretty intense, but it's pretty fast. Before you know it, within a blink of an eye, the session is over. A few things you guys need to know. My email address, write it down somewhere, don't lose it. You're going to have questions, I know you are. You can also contact me via Canvas. If you go to the inbox icon on the left side of the screen, it'll go straight to my email. If you guys want, you can download the syllabus on your computer, click on this link, and it will take you to our class website. I do have office hours, but please be patient with me this semester. Again, I do have a newborn, and I'm trying to, I just came out of maternity leave, so everything is very hard for me right now. I barely have time to shower these days, so I might be late for certain office hours. Other times I might not be able to make it if my baby wakes up and it's like screaming bloody murder. So please be patient. If you are going to come for my office hour, if you could just let me know, even if it's like an hour before coming or 30 minutes before coming, at least I can, find a way to log in, whether it's through my phone or through my laptop, or if I can come on the PC, even better. So if you could just like give me a little shout out when you are going to come, that would be great. Now, a few things about this class. I do want you to read the description. It's good for you to know what you're signing up for, especially the exit standards. This is the goal that we have. When you sign up for a class like this, these are the things that it's kind of like you're signing up for. This is what we're supposed to be learning throughout the semester, or in this case, the session. The required texts. Now, good news. I think you guys will be happy. I didn't want for you to spend any money, so I went out and did some research. Now, I have the 8th edition of Everything's an Argument, but I did find the 7th edition free online. Um, doesn't really matter. The information is the same. The only thing that's different is that the 7th edition, I think they kind of changed the readings inside of the book, so they update the readings. No big deal. I don't even use the readings. It's just, the content is still the same. They also changed a few of the chapters around, like one chapter comes before another chapter. Honestly, the changes are not profound, so I don't really care if you're using the 7th edition or the 8th edition. I think you'll find that the information is pretty much the same. If there is something in the 8th edition that I want you to read, I will post it on Canvas. So here's a link to the book. You could just download it. You don't need to buy it. And then, Pride and Prejudice is the second book required for this class. And again, I found a link to the ebook that's available through our library. So you just click on it, you can log in with your student account, and bam, there's the book. So please use this version because this is how I have the chapter breakdowns listed. Now, attendance. You're like, how are you gonna be monitoring attendance in a class like this? So this is the complicated part. In a class like this, attendance is usually reflected in your grade book. So you don't do the assignments, means you're kind of like, not showing up to class and not doing the work. If you miss a lot of deadlines, you're going to miss assignments, and that's kind of how attendance is calculated in a class like this. Now, because the class is so rapidly paced, I do need you guys to know that the general rule of thumb for DE courses is listed here. I want you guys to read this carefully. Typically, for DE classes, if you have more than 2 weeks of missing work, you can be technically dropped from the class. Now, what does 2 weeks mean? That's the subjective part. 2 weeks worth of work is different for every single instructor. For some instructors, it might be like 3 assignments. For other instructors, it might be like 20 assignments. I have, my equivalent number is 10 assignments. So you're going to see that I have a lot of little assignments throughout each week. Like this week, there's like 5 or 6 assignments. So 2 weeks worth of work would be like, 10 5-point assignments that you miss. And then after that, I can pretty much drop you because you're not showing up to class and doing work. I have some important deadlines here that you guys should mark in your calendars. I have it marked in my calendar. I think these dates are important. The first date is the census date. So this is the date that you need to use to, add or drop a course. Of course, if you want to drop a class without the W, that's important, without the W. So it does not affect your GPA or your record in any way. That date is Friday, January 13th. So please, be aware of that. If you decide that you would like to drop a class with the W, something came up, you just cannot finish the remainder of the class, that date is Thursday, February 2nd. And then there are some people who petition to have this class be counted as a pass or no pass. instead of like a ABC, like a graded class. And if you would like to, petition for that, then the deadline for that is Friday, February 2nd. If you are a student who adds the class late, then you do have until the census date to complete the check-in assignment, which I will explain to you personally, like if you are a new student and you added the class late. I'm not going to read our plagiarism policy. It'll take way too long. It's the first day of class. We don't want to go over unpleasant things. We want it to be all positive, right? So let me just tell you that the plagiarism policy is listed here. If you guys click on the link, you will learn more about it. Believe it or not, I've realized that some people are not familiar with what plagiarism actually is, especially if you come from a different country. And this was something that I learned. I was very mean with students who plagiarized, and then I realized that some students don't know that they're plagiarizing. It's because in other countries, it's not necessarily plagiarism. Like a lot of my students told me that in Armenia, for example, they don't really use outside sources. They write their essays just based on their own opinions. And so using outside sources is a very foreign concept. I didn't know that. So that was news to me. So plagiarism is, think of it like this, kind of like copying somebody else's work without giving them credit for that work. And it's a mark of respect. You quote somebody, say that you quoted them. It's just, common decency to do that. Students with disabilities, we do have an office here that students can register with. Students with any kind of disability, depending on if there's an accommodation that can apply to them, they can get from extra exam time to other accommodations available, like an extension on certain assignments, or certain assignments being organized in a different way. So please reach out to me if you do have questions about this, or if you are registered through this program, you do need to send me the form so that I can sign it. I do not allow late work. You guys, you're gonna see that we're not gonna have time for late work. Whatever is due. So what I try to do instead is, for most of your assignments, it will be due Sunday night. Why Sunday night? Because I'm giving you the weekend as like a safety net. So that instead of having everything be due Friday night, which would be like the end of our work week, I extend it to Sunday night, so that just in case if you weren't making a certain deadline, you can go to the weekend, like on a Saturday or on a Sunday, and you can complete your work. Do I necessarily think you should be working over the weekend? No, of course not. Go live your life. Go have fun. And I probably won't be able to work most weekends either. So it's kind of, it's one of those where only take advantage of that extended period if you absolutely have to. Please don't get lazy and just procrastinate and save everything for Saturday and Sunday. You're going to learn the hard way that you will fall behind so fast if you do that. And I know too, when students start to do that, it's not a good look. It's not a very good impression to leave on your teacher, but also it's going to be extra stress for you. Now, I don't know if you were aware, but in GCC, we do not give pluses and minuses. So if you earn like a 92% in this class, that's not an A minus, that's an A. If you earn an 89%, that's not necessarily a B plus or an A minus, it's a B. So it's only solid grades in GCC. So when it comes down to grading, I have so much to analyze. I have to think about what grade I have to give each student. It's very hard. And then the coursework is, the breakdown is 20% for each major assignment. I had to like really move things around to make it work because oh my gosh, it's hard to fit one semester into 5 weeks. It really is. So 20% is for our in-class work. What does in-class work mean? It's the daily work that you have to do. Discussions, assignments, quizzes. That's mainly what it is. Essay 1 is 20%, Essay 2 is 20%. You will have the opportunity to revise one of those essays. So let's say you got like I don't know, a 68% on one of your essays. You can revise it by the end of the 5th week and you could earn up to 10% higher. So you got a 68, you could technically bring that up to a 78 in this class. And then we also have two exams. We have our midterm exam, which is our exam on critical thinking term, and then we have an exam on Pride and Prejudice, which is our final exam. Now, for the critical thinking exam, I do have a study guide prepared for you guys. If you log into Canvas and you go to the Getting Started module, there's a study guide there. You can already download it and look at it little by little every day, and just by the time the midterm comes, you don't even have to study. If something happens throughout our class website, like it freezes or you're kicked out or something is not loading or your assignment is not uploading, I would love to help you, but sometimes I don't have the answer to these questions. So the best people to call would be the tech people, the Canvas support. Every time I've called them, they have helped me like resolve whatever issue I'm having. One time I didn't even know how to like make discussion groups, and then I called them and they helped me, they walked me through it. So they're very helpful. Now our syllabus has, if you look at page 3, it has a breakdown of the due dates. So notice how I have the readings listed, and I do have the due dates here in bold so that you could see when certain things are due. But please do not look at this as like, like the absolute final deadlines. Your homework is not listed here, and sometimes I switch things around depending on the dynamic of our class, depending on the pace of our class, depending on what we need at a certain time. I might extend certain deadlines, or I might switch certain assignments around. So this is just a breakdown. It's kind of like a little preview of how our class is probably going to be structured, but as far as the actual structure, we'll see. We'll play it by ear as well. So notice that every single day there is going to be readings that you have to do. We start Monday with our check-in assignment and by reading chapter 1. By Tuesday, I would like you to read chapter 2. So notice how there is reading every week. Every day in the week. So, it's important to know that because it is, again, a condensed class. It's very hard to take a class like this if you have like a full-time job that leaves you absolutely no spare time. You have to devote about like an hour to 2 hours every day to this class. And if you can't do that, just take it during the semester, honestly. I myself would probably prefer taking it over a longer semester because everything is so much slower and you have so much more time to work on all of your assignments. This is for people who are like, they gotta get it done fast. So that is the breakdown. Our syllabus also has a few handouts that I thought might be helpful for you guys. Some of you might be like, I don't know, if you're out of high school, or maybe you're a returning student, or maybe you're a student who has never taken, any of these college classes before. These handouts will really help you out. So page 4 is a handout that explains the difference between paraphrasing and quoting. Some people don't know. This is the page underneath. There's a little section where I have lead-in phrases. So every time you are using quotations, you should use a phrase like this. Um, Page 5, I have a handout that's on interpretation strategies. Now, college English teachers often tell you analyze, 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 but then they don't tell you how to analyze. So a lot of students, they get confused. They're like, how am I supposed to analyze this text? I don't know what to say. So if you ever feel confused, you could turn to page 5, and here are a list of strategies that you can use to analyze text. Look at page 6. This is an important one because some students, it's like they're rusty when it comes to quoting. Please do not just find quotes and like throw it into your work. That's not good. You want to always integrate your quotations. I like for things to be smooth and for it to flow nicely. Wouldn't that be great? So I do have examples here on different ways that you can quote that will make your writing sound, more fluent, and it'll just flow so much better. So this page is for quoting. And then page 7 is whenever I grade your work, because I try to save space along the margins, for your grammar, I usually give little codes like this. So this is what the codes mean. This is my definition page. You could always, print this out and have it next to you. And anytime you're looking at my feedback, when I have your work graded. And that's it. That is our syllabus. Now, it is important for you guys to know what our class syllabus is all about. Let me go back to the main page. Sorry, page 1. To know what our class syllabus is about is kind of like the contract for our class. And maybe after watching this, introduction, you might make up your mind that you don't want to take the class that is so rapidly paced like this one, or you might make up your mind that you are ready to go. You can't wait to get started. Hopefully it's the latter. So I again welcome you to the class. Please feel free to reach out with any questions, and I will see you soon.